welcome you to this Bible study of the Banking Blessings Ministry. My name is Goodluck Ofemu. This is my wife.
Obi Ofemu. We welcome you to today's Bible study.
We welcome you to our conclusion of this study of this series on the life of David from the time he was anointed king of Israel to the time that he actually was confirmed as king of Israel. In the final episode, in the final lesson in the series, David was actually confirmed by the people of Israel to be their king. But from the time that time that Saul died to the time that David was confirmed was a period of about 7 years. And during this time, we find something interesting, that there are certain events that David initiated and provided leadership and set the stage, pulled people along. But in a lot of things, he actually just waited and then responded to events as they were initiated by, as they occurred. The events, of course, were initiated, majority of the events were initiated by other people. So that tells us something, that when you're waiting for God's intervention in your life, there are really two options you have regarding the events that will occur, the events that will be involved in your march towards fulfillment of the intervention. You either drive the events, which means you initiate action, pull people with you, provide leadership, or you wait and let God initiate the events through other people, and then you respond to these events. In all of these, of course, you'll be guided by the principle of the principle of right and just. And so we're going to look at the various things, the various events that occurred in the life of David during that 7-year period, and we'll see the ones he initiated, what he did, how he led people. Then we'll see the several events that other people initiated and how he responded to these events in a way that clearly shows his godliness, his respect, or his understanding of what is right and just. And in several of these, he was able to pull people together under him. His response in the events actually united the people of Israel under him. And at the end, they were happy to make him their king. But we have to look at the events to understand what happens. The study is a little bit long, so we've divided it into 2 parts. We are going to do the 2 parts in one, so that we have 2 small videos instead of 1 long video. But it's one lesson. It's only one lesson. Mommy, do you have something to say?
Well, just to welcome the people and then say that it's always exciting to hear what God has to say during each Bible study time.
Okay. So we'll start with part 1. As I said, what we are going to learn basically is that there is a time to drive events. It's a time that you make things happen, you initiate events and pull people and provide leadership. There is also a time to wait, to let God initiate the events through other people and then respond to the events guided by right and just. Of course, one question you'll ask is, how do I know, when to initiate events and when to wait for other people to initiate the events? Well, communication with God. There isn't any other way. God will intimate you, will provide command and tell you when to initiate actions, when to do certain things and provide leadership. And when he doesn't tell you, then that's when you should wait and let him handle it, let him do it to other people. We will see that in most cases David waited, and things happened, and he responded as things happened. Again, just discussing what the various things we're going to learn, that after the death of Saul, the first thing that happened was David relocated to Hebron. He sought direction from God and relocated. Then after that, he waited patiently and responded to events as they developed. And each case, as we said, he was guided by guided by the principle of right and just. David was later confirmed the king by an assembly of the people of Israel. We are going to see this from 2 Samuel chapters 2 through chapter 5. Of course, we are not going to read the whole thing. So we start with David's relocation to Hebron. Remember about the death of Saul. David was in Ziklag when he was told about death of Saul. He mourned Saul. We discussed this in the last Bible study. He mourned Saul, mourned his friend Jonathan, and mourned the nation of Israel and the army. Then after that, maybe we don't know how long after that, then David prayed. He asked God what he should do. I think at this point he realized that the time was coming for him to become the king of Israel, for the people of Israel to confirm him king. And since he was in Philistine territory, he felt that it was time to return to Israel. So he prayed and asked God what to do, and God directed him to return to Hebron, which was in Judah, a city in Judah. So David moved to Hebron with all his followers and their families, and they settled in the city of Hebron and the surrounding towns. Let us read from 2 Samuel chapter 2, verses 1 to 3.
2 Samuel chapter 2, from verse 1. Reading from the New International Version. In the course of time, David inquired of the Lord, "Shall I go up to one of the towns of Judah?" he asked. The Lord said, "Go up." David asked, "Where shall I go?" "To Hebron," the Lord answered. So David went up there with his two wives, Ahinoam of Jezreel and Abigail, the widow of Nabal of Carmel. David also took the men who were with him, each with his family, and they settled in Hebron and its towns.
Well, as I said, David sensed that it was time to become king. The important thing here is that it was David that initiated the move from Ziklag to Hebron and provided leadership, and we don't know the details as to how they settled, but there must have been a process involved of settling all his followers in the surrounding towns. So David initiated these events, provided leadership, and we see also that before he initiated the events, he actually prayed, he consulted with God, and received direction from God. After that, mostly what happened was that David waited patiently and responded to events as they occurred. Let's proceed. The first thing that happened was that the people of Judah came and made David king over Judah. Now, this is interesting. There was one nation of Israel, but several tribes, 12 tribes, settled in different territories. So for when the people of Judah made David king, it's probably because there was some kind of there still wasn't agreement in Israel as to make whether they should make David king or not. But the people of Judah had no doubt. So they came and essentially said, okay, while you people debate or contemplate, we are sure that we want David to become our king, and they made him king. 2 Samuel chapter 2 verse 4.
Verse 4.
Yeah.
Then the men of Judah came to Hebron, and there they anointed David king over the tribe of Judah.
Okay. There is something left in verse 4. We will read it in the next section. But what is here is that this event or series of this particular making David king of Judah did not come from him. He didn't initiate it. The people of Judah, maybe somebody there took leadership, gathered the people, talked to them, and they came, talked to David. He obviously accepted, and they made him king. The Bible says they anointed him. Remember, the process of making a king is that God selects somebody, which is usually the anointing, and then the people elect. This was well illustrated in the case of Saul. Well, so the people of Judah have now elected David. God already selected. Now they were confirming. They are saying yes. They agree that this man should be their king. Well, David initiated another event here. This wasn't much. Remember, the people of Jabesh Gilead buried Saul, because when Saul died, the Philistines hung his body to the wall, he and his children. The people of Jabesh Gilead went, took Saul down, cremated him, and buried him. So David was informed about this. And after the people of Judah made him king, he reached out to Jabesh Gilead. He sent a message to the people of Jabesh Gilead. And you see that the message has two parts. One is he sort of recognized what they did for Saul and thanked them, not congratulate, but really showed them that he appreciated what they did for Saul, that he understood, they respected Saul, and that he shared this respect for Saul. He respected Saul in the same way. Then he used that opportunity to politic a little, because he informed them and said, look, I want you people to be courageous, and I want you to know that the people of Judah have made me king. And what the message was essentially was he was telling them, say, look, it is time for you to think about my position as possibly your king. But he didn't put it openly to them like that. It was sort of a veiled but very clear message. I'm interested in being your king. The people of Judah have selected me as king, and I expect you to consider this and maybe do the same kind of thing, or promote the same thing among the rest of Israel. Let us read verses 4 to 7, the second part of verse 4 and then 3 to 7.
Second Samuel chapter 2 verse 4. When David was told that it was the men from Jabesh Gilead who had buried Saul, he sent messengers to them to say to them, the Lord bless you for showing this kindness to Saul, your master, by burying him. May the Lord now show you kindness and faithfulness, and I too will show you the same favor, because you have done this. Now then, be strong and brave, for Saul your master is dead, and the people of Judah have anointed me king over him.
Over them.
Over them.
Yeah. Well, so clear but veiled message that it is the time has come for them to consider him to consider making him their king. Well, remember, David was king over Judah, but there was still the rest of Israel. Saul's commander, or the commander of Israeli army under Saul, Abner, by himself, appointed a son of Saul called Ishbosheth, appointed him king over Israel. We will look at the kingship of Ishbosheth in a different lesson in the future. But here, just looking at David's interaction with these events, that's our interest here. So, as you see that the main purpose of Abner appointing Ishbosheth king was that Abner wanted to oppose physically oppose the kingship of David over Judah. So he actually took up arms and marched against David. Of course, he went into Judah, got to the pool of Gibeon, and then David's men met him on the way, and they fought a fierce battle in which David's men defeated Israel, defeated the people that came with Abner, and they ran back. As David's men pursued, Abner at some point called for peace. He essentially surrendered, and he gave up and said, "Look, stop pursuing us. Let us end the hostilities. That this is not good." So let's read about this. Is a lengthy passage, but we're not going to read the whole thing. We'll just select in 2 Samuel chapter 2, verses 8 to 32. But we're only going to read some selections. Okay, the first selection is about Abner making Ishbosheth king over Israel.
2 Samuel chapter 2 verse 8. Meanwhile, Abner, son of Ner, the commander of Saul's army, had taken Ishbosheth, son of Saul, and brought him over to Mahanaim. He made him king over Gilead, Ashuri, and Jezreel, and also over Ephraim, Benjamin, and all Israel.
Okay, the next one is that Abner leads Israel to attack Judah.
Abner, son of Ner, together with the men of Ishbosheth, son of Saul, left Mahanaim and went to Gibeon. Joab, son of Zeruiah, and David's men went out and met them at the pool of Gibeon. One group sat on one side of the pool and one group on the other side.
Okay, after a fierce battle, Israel ran and was pursued by Judah, and eventually Israel's commander Abner called for peace.
Abner called out to Joab, verse 26. Must the sword devour forever? Don't you realize that this will end in bitterness? How long before you order your men to stop pursuing their fellow Israelites? 27. Joab answered, as surely as God lives, if you had not spoken, the men would have continued pursuing them until morning. So Joab blew the trumpet, and all the troops came to a halt. They no longer pursued Israel, nor did they fight anymore. Then Joab stopped pursuing Abner and assembled the whole army. Besides Asahel, 19 of David's men were found missing. But David's men had killed 360 Benjamites who were with Abner.
Okay, so the summary of that was that Israel attacked Judah because Abner wanted to oppose David. David's army defeated David's army, this is a mistake. I said defeat. Oh, defended. Okay. David's army defended Judah, yes. And then the two sides eventually made peace that lasted forever. So they didn't fight each other again. No, Israel didn't fight another civil war after this one. But in terms of what we're studying, you will see that these events were initiated by other people, initiated by Abner. He wanted to do all of this, and David responded, knowing what he believed was the right thing. So he sent his army to defend Judah, and they defended Judah successfully. You know, that when, as he was waiting to be confirmed king of Israel, he mostly waited for God to initiate things through other people and responded to these events as they occurred. Okay, so that's the end of the first part. Honey, I don't know if you want to say something before we start the second part.
Well, it's interesting to know that Israel did fight a civil war, and one thing that comes out from here is David always didn't make a move unless he inquired from God. He didn't move until he inquired from God. And that's one attribute of a king, because your anointing is from God and he put you over a people. So it's always good to go back to God to ask him what he needs. You need God's wisdom and guidance to be an effective leader. To be an effective leader, because then you'll be walking in tandem. You'll be walking in sync with what God wants over his people. He has made you a leader over his people. So it's always good to inquire. Whether for your own personal, you might think, oh, his relocation, what has it got to do with the people? That's probably where he will be more effective, or one thing or the other. So there's nothing, it's not about him anymore. So he realized that and walked in that principle. And that's a principle he's had from a long time, and he never really left it. So it's interesting to know that he continued with it here. And once he was made a ruler, he also extended a hand of friendship to the people of Jabesh Gilead. He didn't set out to go conquering people so that he can annex them into his own governmental space, or annex them into his own, under his authority. But he made gesture to them to be willing to join, to come on under his authority, which is another remarkable thing that I was able to see that comes through from this portion of the Bible, of the lesson.
Well, we thank you for joining us in this part of in part 1 of this lesson, and we will now proceed to part 2. We pray that what you learn from our Bible study series will make a positive impact on your life and will bring you closer to God's purpose for your life. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you.